This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Friday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. A busy show today. We're going to spread it all around. College football, UFC in Brazil, also an NFL lock for Sunday. So we have all of that to get to. Some other things we'll hit on as well. So, Lee, as they say, without any further ado, let's get to the first blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
Top 10 battle in Eugene. The Oregon Ducks and the Indiana Hoosiers, they meet up. Big Ten battle. And Indiana, again, made so many waves last few years under Curt Cignetti now. And Oregon, off their big win a few weeks ago over Penn State, back at home. Lee, what do you like here with the Ducks favorite at home against the Hoosiers?
Okay, there is some draft experts and previews out there that saw two of them that have Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, going first in the draft. Now, I think he's pretty good, but he's from Miami, Columbus. Saw him play in high school. Not saying he didn't improve. Then he played at Cal for 4 years. He's finishing Indiana. But first, playoffs? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, this guy's like late second, early third at best. Mediocre arm, pretty good anticipation. I think it's based off pretty much one game. He had a really good game against Miami last year when he was at Cal, but that game was at home, and Miami's defense was pretty much garbage. Now, let's look at what he's done on the road. So he's going to travel to play tough place, playing at the Oregon Ducks. Last year, 3 times facing decent competition. I'm not talking about, like the FCS schools. He went to SMU. They got whipped 38-6. Okay. You would think pretty good offense. They had some talent. Jaden Knott, running back, some good receivers. 6 points. All right, maybe an off game. Then they go to Pitt. They lose 17-15. Not good. Pitt's defense isn't great. Then they went to Florida State. That's right. Your Florida State Seminoles. That's right, Kevin. Don't give me that look. The 2-10 Seminoles. And he only scored 9 points. They lost 14-9 to 2-10 Florida State. That was one of Florida State's 2 wins last year. The other was against some FCS.
It was FCS. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So this year, played nobodies. The one game he had to step up at Iowa. They scored 20 points, and good read. He threw that slant to Surratt, scores the touchdown, scored 20. I mean, I know Iowa's defense is good, but 20, it's not like they scored 30, 35, 40, 20 points. So I think he's pretty good. He's not great. I mean, this Oregon team, I think the quarterback for Oregon, Dante Moore, is better. 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Think he has the better offensive and defensive line. I think their offensive line is best in the country, better than Miami. And everyone's all over the Miami line. I think there's 3 teams that are cut above everyone else. I think it's Ohio State first, Oregon second, and Miami third. Indiana, when they got in the playoffs last year, they got waxed at Notre Dame here. This could happen. I don't know if it's going to be a wax job, but 7.5 points, I don't get it here. Maybe I'm missing something. I've seen all these teams, these 2 teams, in every single game. I think Oregon's clearly 14-17 points better. I like the Ducks here, 40-21.
Yeah, should be a nice. Yeah, should be a good game coming up on Saturday afternoon. It's an early kickoff out in Eugene. It's a 3:30 Eastern kick, 12:30 Pacific. And look, again, Oregon after that win over Penn State. Now we see Penn State maybe has dipped a little bit after the UCLA loss. But for Indiana, again, that was kind of the thing that they've been knocked on, is they haven't really had those great wins under Curt Cignetti, that they've piled it up against not great competition. But I don't want to take away from Indiana, because Indiana was nothing. They're not a football school. Right. And now they made a lot of progress.
And
At the same time,
beat Illinois. They waxed Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, 60, what is that, 63-7, something like that. It was over by halftime. So give them credit for that. I haven't seen Illinois lose that badly, but I mean, Oregon's 24-13 against the spread last 37 games. That is a tough place to play. Very few teams go in there and win games. Ohio State couldn't do it last year. So why can Indiana? So if you see Fernando Mendoza throw 3 interceptions, or at least 2 or more, you say, you heard it here first. Mendoza's not great on the road. So blowout special. Oregon Ducks here big.
Now, another one of the big games, Lee, coming up on Saturday. What's it called now? Is it the Red River Shootout, Showdown, whatever
Showdown? Yeah.
The PC name for it, whatever it is. But Oklahoma and Texas, SEC, second year now, these teams meeting up again at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And the big news coming out is John Mateer, as far as he's moving up, maybe questionable to play.
Probable.
Now he's probable. So he's going to play coming up on Saturday in this game for Oklahoma. And your thoughts on just Mateer coming off the surgery? I know he wants to play in this one, obviously a big game against Texas, but how effective do you think he'll be off the surgery?
So anyone that bets this game is crazy. I mean, there's so many other better games. Here's why. I used to go to a lot of these games. So my uncle lived in Dallas, used to fly me out when I was like 10, 11 years old. I would go to the Texas OU games, get Fletcher's corn dogs before the game and go to the game. And then next day, go to the Cowboys game. It was a great weekend. As a young kid who loves sports. If you think it's going to be a low-scoring game, usually a high-scoring game. If you thought one team would win, the other team would upset the other team. It was crazy. It stayed that way here. It's kind of gone back and forth the last 4 years. One team wins and the other. You don't know how he's going to grip the ball. He might have no trouble, and Mateer looks great. I'm not saying he's not a gamer, but he could try to throw an interception or two, and they pull him, and then they have to put in his backup. I mean, Texas, their offensive line hasn't looked great, but last game looked horrible. I mean, Arch has actually looked better. You're betting this game, like I said, you're probably betting table tennis too. So I'm not touching the game. I'll watch the game. The only way I will bet the game is after I see a couple series, then maybe I might consider playing this game live.
And we've seen Texas outside of Austin lose to Ohio State, lose to Florida. You're going to Dallas now, but let's see what Arch Manning can do in a game away from Austin and step up.
Yep. Got to do it. He needs third time's a charm. He doesn't get it done here. You think the doubters have been, well, not whispering, talking pretty loudly.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he comes out this year. No way at all. And I mean, he might get lucky to get drafted if he continues on this downward spiral.
Now let's shift over to baseball. And on Thursday night, if you caught it, or at least you saw the highlight, the Phillies lose to the Dodgers in extra innings. So LA advances now to the NLCS again. And that was a 1-1 game. Dodgers had the bases loaded. And it was Orion Kerkering. He gets a ground ball. Now, it wasn't an easy ground ball. It was a grounder back to him. 2 outs. You throw it to first, and you get out of the inning. You go to the 12th inning. Yes, it's easy to say, Lee, that any of us could have done it differently, okay? But at the same time, as far as, I don't know if you could rank it officially, thinking of every gaffe or something that's happened at the end of a game. But my God, that's a hard one to come back from. After you throw it away, you could have thrown it to first base and get the runner out and go to the 12th inning. JT Realmuto behind the plate was even pointing to first base to throw it there. He throws it past home plate. It was just a wild throw. I still think it's worse than Buckner because that ends the series. They had a game 7, the Red Sox, and we always think of that. But man, that's a tough gaffe to get over.
The only way it could be worse is if it happened in the World Series. It was game 7. Then maybe, it's worse. But you're still, two series away from winning the World Series. So, I think it's horrible. I mean, just you got to feel for the guy. Sometimes those balls have spins on them. So maybe he was so concentrating on fielding it, and then he looked up and froze up. Just shows you anything can happen. That's what they say. Just put the ball in play, and turns out that's how a team won and a team lost. So feel bad for the losers. The winners, yeah, they were up 2-1. Dodgers just, I don't know about you. I enjoy watching the Dodgers because they have stars, but I mean, it's ridiculous the money that they're spending. What they got to spend close to $400 million. Am I right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Unless it's deferred. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the best remaining teams now is I'd probably like to see the Mariners and the Dodgers. So,
yeah. Well, the other one too is that, okay, fine. I'll put this scenario out quickly to you. Yep. If the Phillies are up 1 there and that same thing happens, the ball gets thrown away and 2 runs score on that, do you feel any different where the Phillies would have won the game getting the 3rd out as opposed to going to another inning?
Probably. It's just crazy.
I understand the point about they still had to get through the NLCS. They still had to get through that game, the NLCS and the World Series. But I'm saying just as far as a way to lose and get eliminated.
Yeah.
That's a walk-off homer, at least the guy, in a sense, earns it. That's your guy, Pages, that hit that ball. And I don't know. It's a hard, like, you watch that in real time, you're like, oh, man. It's just, it's a killer. Absolute killer. All right. We have a lot more to get to here on this edition of Locked On Bets. We still have another college football blowout. We have UFC to get to. We have NFL to get to. So a very busy Friday here. So we roll on, and we'll get to some more college football coming up right here on Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel, and you know all about FanDuel. We talk about them on Locked On Bets all the time. The NFL season continuing. FanDuel is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5 in. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And what can you bet on? A lot of stuff. I mean, you have Lions-Chiefs coming up Sunday night from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We thought that'd be the Super Bowl a few years ago, but big one Sunday night. You could bet on Patrick Mahomes, his passing yards, Jared Goff, his passing yards, all the Lions' weapons they have, anytime touchdown, side, total, money line, all of that. And then any game you want on Sunday. There's a doubleheader coming up on Monday in the NFL. The Bills take on the Falcons in the first game. Josh Allen's the MVP favorite right now at FanDuel. The Bills are the Super Bowl favorite at FanDuel. So many choices, player props, futures, sides, totals, money lines. You also have college football. You also have the Major League Baseball playoffs. NHL is underway. NBA starts in a few weeks. So very busy time for sports. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Locked On Bets continues here on a Friday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling at Paramount Sports. Already, we have done one Big Ten blowout, so I figured we'd do another Big Ten blowout with a game that may not have the same meaning as Indiana-Oregon, but still a pretty good one in College Park.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
Nebraska visits Maryland coming up on Saturday afternoon, and Nebraska 6.5-point road favorite. Lee, I'm going to back the Cornhuskers here and lay the points with them. Both these teams are 4-1 on the season, and Maryland off 2 big games the last 2 weeks with dramatically different results. They won at Wisconsin. Understandably, Wisconsin's a little bit down, but they were a 10-point dog in that game. They came home as a 5.5, 6-point dog to Washington, up big. Washington came back and won. Terrapins got the cover, but I got to think there's a letdown spot now, and the line tells me a lot that they're still underdogs again here against Nebraska. And the Cornhuskers, I'm not going to say looking for a signature win, but they have their lone loss to Michigan. They're trying to get some road victories under their belt. They had the neutral site win against Cincinnati back in week 1 in Kansas City. We saw Cincinnati just beat Iowa State last week. But I think that Nebraska here in this spot, the line tells me a lot. I think this has got to be just a letdown for Maryland here with the number where it is. Both teams are 4-1. Let's lay the points here. Blowout specially for the Cornhuskers over the Terrapins on Saturday.
I don't know how Maryland gets back up after losing a 20-0 lead late third quarter. So that was brutal to lose that way. And Nebraska is probably just one of those teams. They can beat teams that are at their level, but they just can't beat the top teams. I mean, their offensive line was dominated. I forget how many times their quarterback was sacked in that game against Michigan, but it was brutal watching that offensive line, but not facing a defense line like that. I mean, Michigan they got some horses on the defensive line, so I could see it. Let's hope they get a nice blowout here.
So a couple Big Ten blowouts, and just a very loaded college football card. And you can look back on our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, for all of Lee's college football bets throughout the week. He started on Tuesday, and we've just gone every day with a lot of college football bets. We'll get to NFL in just a little bit. But now we're going to a third blowout, Lee, but this time we're shifting to the Octagon. UFC and Rio de Janeiro in Brazil coming up on Saturday for our third blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
All right, Lee, take it away. Rio de Janeiro, UFC. You've been on fire with these picks. What do you have for Saturday?
All right, Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez moves up from lightweight to welterweight. It's not like he was, having trouble making weight, but I think he's just more built his body type for welterweight. It was time. 22-3. He's 32 years old, but the guy's kind of just starting to come into his prime now from Spain. And I think they're going to have a big pay-per-view coming up there. So I think they want to have him win, and then they can feature him as either the main fight or the co-main event coming up in that, future UFC event from Spain. Now, he's 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. He is fighting Vincent Luque. Vincent Luque, nicknamed the Silent Assassin, just 1 year older. But you talk about a guy that is really having some problems. I think he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights, still fights the best of the best. Kevin Holland, Joaquin Buckley, Jeff Neal. And the last 3 times he lost, he was somehow didn't finish, whether he was choked out, ground and pound, or punches. And Joel Alvarez, how does he win? Every single time he's won in the UFC, every single fight, he is won by stoppage. So I think that this fight here, he could win it by submission. He could win it by ground and pound. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's just going to dominate this fight here. Probably the second, latest early third, he takes over. He might even do it in the first. He's just so much better than Luque. Sometimes when you're 33, you're an old 33. Luque, 33, he looks like he's 38, 39 years old. Just he labors out there. Doesn't have the power he used to have. He's only 5'11", so 6'3" against 5'11". And Alvarez, more power. Like I said, can do everything. Submit, punch, kick. Just does better every single facet of the fight than Luque here. So I'm going to take him by finish, minus 275. Joel Alvarez here by finish here is going to be blowout special.
All right, so busy Saturday for you. College football, UFC, got all the TV set, so you'll be good for that. So looking forward to that card coming up on Saturday, and then Sunday the NFL Week 6, and a lot of big games coming up. We will talk about one of them coming up with a big lock. Packers and the Bengals from Lambeau Field. That is straight ahead. You're listening to the Friday edition of Locked On Bets. Locked On Bets continues here on a Friday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports, and the NFL Week 6. One of the biggest storylines, if not the biggest storyline this week, has been Joe Flacco getting traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati, making his way all around the AFC North. And when Aaron Rodgers retires next year, he'll probably be the quarterback of the Steelers. Who knows what will happen. But Joe Flacco did beat the Packers 2 weeks ago as a member of the Browns, so he's going to try to do it again as a heavy underdog here against the Packers. Zach Taylor's like, you're in, man. Our quarterback situation is terrible. I don't care. You just got here. Learn the playbook. Get in, because we're not scoring at all. So here it's time for our lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
How's that feel if you're Jake Browning? You'd think after you led the Bengals to a comeback win over Jacksonville in week 2, when Joe Burrow gets hurt, all right, maybe I got this thing. I could take over. And it's just a complete disaster the next 3 weeks. And they trade for a 41-year-old quarterback who gets benched in Cleveland. So, Lee, with all that being said, Packers off the bye, the Bengals off another loss. Packers 2-touchdown favorite here. What do you like at Lambeau on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was a little surprised they made the move. Sometimes I think Jake Browning just lost his confidence. I mean, at one time I thought he was one of the better backups, but think mentally he's done. So you're really going to go with Joe Flacco? I know you got really good receivers, and Jamar Chase obviously is maybe the best receiver in the NFL, but they have no offensive line. We're not talking about a guy that has any type of escapability. He is one of the least mobile quarterbacks around at evading the rush. I mean, if I was Joe Flacco, I'd say, listen, if you're thinking about trading me, I think it's just time to retire. You're 40 years old. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars here. To go to the third team in the division, I personally probably wouldn't do it, but I'm not in his situation. Problem here is got to learn a playbook quick. I mean, we saw it's happened before. Baker Mayfield did it a couple of years ago, did a great job. But that's the exception, not the rule. So Green Bay coming off a bye, a tie and a loss. You got to think that they're going to be really motivated. And I love what their head coach LaFleur does. His first 10, 15 plays that are scripted are usually excellent. I think they're going to have 7-0, 10-0 lead. And if that's the case, they're going to be able to pin the ears back and come after him. It wasn't like Flacco did a good job in that upset win against them a couple weeks ago. I mean, they were down 10-0, and Green Bay was just absolutely awful. So maybe knows their defense a little bit, but different circumstance. Green Bay was coming off the undefeated record, sitting at 3-0. Everything's looking great. They lose the game, and then everything changed for them. So I just have a feeling that they're going to be motivated. They're going to have the lead. They're going to pin their ears back and do a number on him. I think the Bengals are in big trouble here. Blowout, my biggest blowout of the day here. Blowout number 4 for the show. Blowout special, Green Bay. They lay a number here on Cincinnati, 41-10.
Well, the other issue with the Bengals, they're the worst rushing team in the NFL, so they're going to force Flacco to throw. And Flacco doesn't have that Cleveland defense to rely on. Say what you want about the Browns, but the defense is fantastic, and they just can't get anything going offensively. So, again, we'll see what happens. The Bengals do have Jamar Chase, but someone's got to get him the ball. They have T. Higgins. Someone's got to get him the ball. And now you're on your third quarterback of the season, and Green Bay so far has looked good at home in both their wins over Detroit and Washington. I'm not going to say they should have beat Dallas, but you're up 13-0. That blocked extra point that gets taken back for 2 kind of kills the momentum for the Packers, and that game ends in a tie. But, yeah, we'll see if Green Bay can finish off Cincinnati and get this one. So, Lee, you have been on fire in the NFL at Paramount Sports. Another big Sunday and Monday coming up. Also, the college football big weekend. So what's going on with Paramount Sports?
Yep. You never tried me before. We have what's called the NFL 5 for 55. I put out 5 selections on a Sunday. They're ready right now. You don't have to wait until Saturday or Sunday. This way, you're going to get the best optimal lines. You're not going to get a line that moves 2-3 points. So I put it out usually Wednesday night, Thursday morning. It's ready to go. Lines haven't moved yet, but they're going to be moving as the day progresses. 5 selections, $55. 3 weeks ago, I put out 5 plays, went 5-0. 2 weeks ago, 5-0. Last week, 5-0. 15-0 on this promotion. So we've only had, I think, 6 losing weeks in 2.5 years on this. So if you've never tried me on something, try the NFL 5 for 55. It's an immediate download. USC, 7 selections, $37. We won 15 of the last 18 cards there. Baseball, my selections or player props through the World Series, $97 each. And if you want to do my phone service where we rate the plays from 10 to 50 units, we've gone 9-5, 9-4, 10-1 the last 3 weekends. Normally, $497. If you use coupon code SAVE200, only for this show, I'm putting it out, SAVE200. Everyone else has a Save 100 coupon, just $297. There's games every single day of the week now. Tuesday, Wednesday, goes on for the next 47, 48 days. So how do you get involved? Everything's up and available. Just one place, ParamountSports.com, or call 800-400-9741.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets. We appreciate all of your support there. And also the podcast. You can download it off Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcast. You can find Lee on X at Paramount Sports, myself at Rogers Picks. We hope you have a profitable weekend, and we'll talk to you again coming up on Monday as we recap everything and look forward to Monday Night Football right here on Locked On Bets on the Locked On Podcast Network.